Yo, what's up, lads and ladies? It's me, your boy Alex, back with another guide thing. um, this one is just sort of like orientated towards newer or returning players, but it can be good for experienced players too if you sort of don't really understand the system as a whole. But this is going to be based on the fifth job system, so the V Matrix. You might be wondering why I'm making a video on this in the first place, because it's been out for so long. But the new 6-job core system that we're getting in New Age requires you to have maxed skills from the V Matrix in order to be able to enhance them in the 6-job system. So this is for new players to sort of understand how to do that so you're ready when New Age happens, or if you just need a little bit of help on it, because it can be quite a complicated system. I remember myself especially being very confused and just boosting every single skill that was applicable and wasting a lot of resources. But yeah, I just sort of want to give a little guide on how to do it. I'm going to go through all the different things that the fifth job system kind of entails, and then I'll do a sort of live example of my Dawn Warriors V-Matrix, just to sort of show what I've done with cores, and then how you can find out what's best for your class as well. Because every class is different, they all have different boost nodes, different skills, so I'm just going to sort of go through each section one by one, and then we'll have a summary at the end. So yeah. The first thing of the V-Matrix, and one of the most important parts, is how you can actually get things to use in the V-Matrix itself. Nodestones are like the currency of the V-Matrix. They give you, when you open a Nodestone, they will give you a skill node, a boost node, a special node, and these are all different types of like systems for the V-Matrix. The way to obtain Nodestones, there's a couple different ways. The first and the primary one that most people will do is by grinding. All monsters in the Arcane River and above, so in Grandis as well, can drop Nodestones. This is affected by your character's drop rate, so if you are going to try and farm Nodestones, the more drop rate you have, the better. Averagely, in Reboot, I get about 20 to 30 per WAP in Grandis, and that's at about 14 to 15,000 kills per hour. The rate that you will get Nodestones will obviously be affected by your kill rate, because the more you kill, the more chance you have at getting a Nodestone drop. Another way to gain Nodestones is from things like event shops. Currently, the Wongstrong Restaurant event in Savior has Nodestones, but these nodes are also available in all forms of like event shops. Usually they're quite common, and they're usually quite cheap with event coins. For example, on the right side you can see it's 70 for a normal Nodestone and 1,000 for an experienced Nodestone. We'll get into experienced Nodestones later, but just as a sort of brief thing, they are worth 3 normal nodes on any like base node that you enhance. And then you can also get Nodestones from like special event rewards and things. So an example of that is the Hyper Burning events, or the 6-star event, which is going on now as preparation for 6th job. Events are sort of like a really good way to get Nodestones because they usually come in a massive bulk, which is really good for your character to get a lot of great progress. Following on from that, we will have the V-Matrix itself. And I'll show you this one in game first. But the V-Matrix, you get to it by opening your skill tab. And this is the sort of board where you can slot in all of your nodes and enhance them. Every time you level up, you will unlock more slots. Like at 200, you'll only have like a few slots. But obviously, the higher you are, the more nodes you have. And you can pay to unlock extra slots. I really recommend not paying Meso to unlock slots. Just level up instead. Because once New Age hits, this system will be capped at 260. So you'll have every single slot at level 260 instead of like level 300, which it is now, which is the final slot. But going back to the graphic, the V-Matrix is the main interface of the system. Once you open nodes, they will appear in your like V-Matrix like storage, which is the bottom row, and you'll be able to look at them. You'll be able to see what you get, if you can upgrade them or disassemble them. If you disassemble a node that you don't use, you will get node shards. And you can use node shards to level up existing nodes, or you can use it to craft like nodes that you need, or special nodes. The matrix points you see on the image, they are for upgrading each node slot individually, which is the right image. The bottom right icon is a unenhanced. The one on the left is level 2 to 3, and the one at the top is level 5. And these levels on the slot give the skill that you put in the slot extra levels. And so I'll show you that in game as an example. You can see here I have a level 25 decent holy symbol. And this slot here is a level 5 slot. If I put my holy symbol in, I now have a level 30 holy symbol. However, if I put it in the unenhanced slot, I have a level 25. So you can see the difference based on where you put it when you enhance a slot as to, you know, what you get from it. But it's a very simple once you understand it, but sort of getting to that point can be a bit confusing. Following on from the matrix, and we've got the sort of nodes themselves, so what they are. There's 3 different types that are super important. The first one is a boost node. A boost node is one of the main parts of your class's like main power, because this enhances your base 1st to 4th job skills to give them extra final damage. Final damage is the final like damage multiplier, and it's how much damage you do when hitting. So you can see on the example on the right, my solar slash or lunar divide does final damage plus 60. So it's essentially plus 60% damage every time you hit something. It's really, really good. Boost nodes, each class has its own set of correct skills to boost, because there's an optimal like rotation of skills that you will use when bossing and mobbing. For Dawn Warrior, as you know, that's the class I play, that's the example I'm going to use, I only have one set of tri-nodes or boost nodes that I need, because we only boost 3 skills. But you'll see on the image I'm boosting 2 slots. That's because the max level is 60. And one slot can only get a skill to level 30 if you enhance the slot 5 times. So a node itself can go to level 25, and then the node slot will add 5 onto that level for 30. You get 2 of those, you get the max at 60. For finding out what's best for your class, and I'm going to put it in a pinned comment like down below, is to look for your class's Discord. And usually they will have FAQs, they will have like guides on what's best for you to use and what's best to enhance. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of the questions I see, particularly in the Dawn Warrior Discord, is a lot of people, they don't really understand how the nodes work. So it's always good to check your FAQ first, because the people that make those Discords, they put a lot of time and effort into like explaining what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So make sure you read those before asking any questions, and I'll link that down below. The next sort of type of node you can get from a nodestone to use in the Matrix is a skill node. Skill nodes are very, very important to your class for bossing in particular or mobbing. These are the sort of main big, we call them V skills, but they are the main sort of class augmentation in the 5th job system. A lot of these skills will change how your class functions in a lot of scenarios. Some of them can be passive, some of them are active, but they will sort of augment how your class plays in a lot of scenarios to do either more damage or enhance the play style. These are unique to every class in the game. So every class has its own set of 4 V skills. For example, in Dawn Warrior, we have Cosmos, which is an active, that interacts with previous skills in the hyper skill, the Ether, the Forge, to do more damage. Rift is another damaging skill. Solar Eclipse is an iframe and a damaging skill. And Flare Slash is a passive proccing skill every time you attack. But these skills are all very, very good. You will get, when you enhance to the 5th job system, you will by default get a level 1 version of each of your V skills. And this is just to sort of show you at the start of your V journey what changes for your class. It's always good to equip those, or if you have nodes stored already from like a separate character where you're going to chuck in nodes instantly, you can sort of build up your tri-nodes first to do even more damage while grinding. But these skills are really important. The difference between these and tri-nodes is that these will cap at level 30 instead of level 60. So a tri-node, I'll show you in game again. A boost node, or a tri-node as a lot of people call them. 2 slots at level 25, 25, and then plus 10 from the node slots. That maxes you at level 60. Whereas the V skills, so for example, Cosmos, Rift, Solar Eclipse, and Flare Slash for Dawn Warrior, these skills themselves are level 25, plus the 5 from the slot bonus, and that gets them to level 30 in the V Matrix itself. Very self-explanatory, but, you know, thought I'd show it anyway. And then again, in the bottom right, level 30, level 5 enhancement is active. And these are good. In the same bucket as the skill nodes, we have common skills. Now, common skills are skills that can be used by all classes in the game. And these are basically like all boosting skills. So some classes that don't have a bind, you can get a bind from this. You can get the blink skill from this, which lets you levitate in the air for a few seconds, which is fantastic in bossing. You can get the Urda Will, which is also great for bossing. And you also have things called decent abilities. And these are skills that are available to class archetypes in 1st to 4th job. So you've got Sharp Eyes, which is for archers. You've got Hyper Body. You've got decent combat orders. You've got decent speed infusion. Decent holy symbol. So these are all skills that are available to separate classes previously. But in the 5th job system, they're available to everyone. The key ones that I want to make note of are Decent Sharp Eyes. Decent Sharp Eyes is fantastic. It gives you crit rate and crit damage. Decent Speed Infusion is really good. It gives you 1 level of attack speed, which is usable to get you to attack speed 10, which is the new fastest speed. It used to be attack speed 0, but just think of it as flipped. 0 equals 10. Decent Holy Symbol is really good for grinding, and it gives you drop rate as well. It's really, really good. You can also get a rope lift from this when you complete the Latchelin story. You'll get a rope lift for free, which helps with mobility and movement around maps and bossing. But that's really good. There's also job types, so like exclusive warrior skills, exclusive archer skills, exclusive mage skills, so on and so on. For example, a warrior, you can see on my screen, I have in the bottom left, we have a weapon aura, and the bottom right, we have impenetrable skin. And these are sort of exclusive to warrior types. Archers will get guided arrow and vicious shot, as another example. And then you also have faction skills, which are skills that are exclusive to your character's faction or the world that they come from. So, for example, Cygnus Knights have the Empress Cygnus Blessing and the chicken helper things. Characters from Maple World that are not Cygnus Knights will have Maple Goddess Blessing, which is a different blessing skill, which gives you like % stat. And then some damage, I believe. I can't remember, it's been a long time. But yeah, each archetype and each faction will get its own unique skill nodes in that respect as well, just to sort of help differentiate between all of them. For example, Zero will have the Transcendent Blessing, Kinesis has the Friend Story Blessing, it all changes based on where your character is from. But you'll see information on that when you look in the FAQs of your class guides, because those skills are really important for endgame bossing, because they really help augment the amount of damage that you can do and like add variance to your playstyle. For example, the Cygnus one is a stacking buff over the course of 45 seconds, which gives you more damage. It gives you damage reduction. It gives you healing. It's really, really good. But yeah, these are really important skills. But the thing I would say with common skills is they are not, in my opinion, they're not as high priority as, say, your V skills. Because your V skills are going to give you much more damage compared to just these first. If you're grinding, starting from 200, it's always good to chuck in a level 1 decent holy symbol just to have it. And then eventually at like 220, 225, when you've got all of your boost nodes in and you've got your skill nodes in, you can then start looking at putting common skills in. So if you need a bind, put that in, or you could put in, say, like decent Sharp Eyes as well. It goes on and on and on. But there's always priority lists to look at. And then another type of node that we can get is the special node. So special nodes are more so sort of an endgame system, because a lot of these aren't really relevant until you get the space for it, and the other skills take priority over these. There are a lot of useless special nodes, in my opinion. The sort of 4 general ones that I always recommend to people are going to be Auto Recovery 2. This is a passive proccing skill that fully heals you every 30 seconds. This is really good in bossing if you're struggling with a clear. I personally don't use the healing one, because I choose to use Fatal Strike instead. Fatal Strike increases your damage by 2 seconds when attacking every 30 seconds, which is absolutely massive if you can line it up with your burst. But I choose to err on the side of damage, because the faster I kill a boss, the faster I'm out of it. So I don't need to worry about healing if the boss is dead, you know? But some people prefer auto recovery, it's just their playstyle. There are 2 grinding versions as well, which are great. In regular server, a lot of people use the character building node because of frenzy existing, which increases the amount of mobs on the screen, which increases your likelihood of getting hit. Because character building, every time you get hit 100 times, you activate that node. For me, in Reboot, when I'm full clearing a map, I can't activate character building, so I don't get the EXP benefit. In that respect, I then use Rune EXP, which gives you 50% extra EXP every time you use a rune. These two kind of stack up next to each other quite well. They make a lot of sense. But yeah, it's pretty easy. They're the kind of special nodes I would pick. There are other options with niche cases for other classes. Like I believe Bowmaster may use like a Boss Slayer when using Hurricane skills, just to sort of help proc it, which will result in extra damage percentages. But you'd have to look at your class specifically if you need any unique special nodes. I just go by a general rule of thumb, which is the ones that I've listed on the screen. And yeah, so that's the sort of basic core out of the way of how this system works. So now I'm just going to sort of go through my Dawn Warriors V Matrix and just sort of give an explanation of what I use and why I use it. So if we go up here, our V Matrix, and we'll empty these. When you open a Nodestone, and I have a few on me, you can see here a Nodestone. You can click these, but it takes a long time. So what I do is I keybind them when I open them. I have mine on 7. You can put it on any key, and then I just hold the key, and this opens them. Usually, you know, you're just going to open a few until you get what you want. I'll just open like 10 or so just to sort of show what happens. There we go. This will open. And you see this one is a boost node. So this node is boosting my skills Cosmic Burst, Bluster, and Equinox Slash. Now, because I'm a Dawn Warrior, I know that Bluster and Equinox are not worth being boosted. So this boost node is useless to me. But the Cosmic Burst at the top is potentially usable. Because if I get a Cosmic Burst top level node with, say I have this one. You see Cosmic Shower, Cosmic Burst, Solar Slash, Solar Slash. At the top skill is the one that matters. Because every skill with Cosmic Shower at the top, in the example of this one, every skill with Cosmic Shower at the top can be fed into this node and enhanced. Of course, I can't enhance this one because it's at the max rank, so I'll sort of show this one, Bluster. If I enhance this, I can select all of the other nodes with Bluster as the top line to feed into it. Even though the other bottom 2 skills are useless, all that matters is the top skill. So if I want to, say I finish these, I've then got maxed. If you have a node that has everything you want, say this was a perfect trio, this Cosmic Burst, Bluster, and Equinox, but I don't have enough nodes to enhance it, you can craft the nodes that you want to feed into this to then enhance them. There are charts out there which will show you how many it will take, but I usually craft like say 10 at a time. They take 70 shards to craft, which you can get from, as I said earlier, disassembling the nodes that you don't want. Say if you right click lock all of the nodes that you want, you can then just press select all and then get rid of all the ones you don't need, which is pretty easy. If your class has a lot of boost nodes and you don't know how to find it, there's a new function. Well, I say new, it's just because I've been playing for a long time. But you can search what you want with a filter. So playing Dawn Warrior, I know that I want Solar Slash and Lunar Divide. I know that I want Cosmic Burst. And I know that I want Cosmic Shower, which is this one. So I search, and then if these were unequipped, yeah, you see they appear there, because they are what we call a perfect tri-node. They don't have to be in the perfect like layout, so it doesn't have to be Solar Burst, Shower, and then Shower, Burst, Solar. It can be any layout, just as long as you boost the correct skills, you can put them in. And again, each set will need 2 node, like, we call this a pair of tri-nodes. So each set of boost nodes will need one pair to max it to level 60. And again, we'll show that there, which then gives me my 120% boost, which is really good. This boost of final damage will scale based on what job you're boost node is from, but again, that depends on job. Because all of my skills are 4th job, they will boost at sort of a flat rate just because of how Dawn Warrior scales. That's really easy. We then have our skill nodes. So for me, Cosmos, Rift, Solar Eclipse, and Flare Slash. When you're maxing these, each class will have a priority list of what you should max first for the most damage uptime. If you are ever struggling to use these and you've maxed your boost nodes, you can craft skill nodes. Now, skill nodes are more expensive than boost nodes. They cost 140 instead of 70. But again, you can just extract nodes that you don't need and then craft what you do want, which is very good. Now that I've got them in my matrix, I can then start to look at decent skills that I need or other sort of power boosting effects. For me, I have a decent holy symbol and Urda Shower. Urda Shower is a fantastic skill for grinding now because it gives your class an extra summon that you can put on a map to cover grinding areas that you can't clear, say. This is really, really good. It's kind of a replacement for Lucid Soul for most classes because Lucid Soul is quite weak. So Urda Shower is a very strong enhancement for that. We then have my class, like faction skills. So I have Transcendent Cygnus Blessing, the Weapon Aura. We then have the Phalanx Charge and Impenetrable Skin. These are the ones unique for my my faction. So I'm a Cygnus Knight, so I have Phalanx Charge and Transcendent. And then I'm a Warrior, so I have Impenetrable Skin and Weapon Aura. That's very good. My class has a bind, so I don't need Urda Nova. But I do want decent speed infusion to increase my attack speed. And then I want decent Sharp Eyes for crit rate and crit damage. And then I want decent combat orders. And then I use Urda's Will as well. I'm going to put Blink in this slot. You might think it's a level 8. Why would you put it there? It's because each of these sort of decent skills, a few of them have passive effects which increase on the level that your node is. So you can notice that Blink is attack power on the passive effect. So if I put it in this slot, it's passive attack 8. If I put it in this slot, it's passive attack 13. And this scales the more you have. Like the higher level, the more attack you have. I'm also going to put Will skill in there. And then after that, I'm going to put Decent Advanced Blessing. I'm going to put the Will skill. And then I'm going to put Rope Lift because I use that. And that's all of the nodes that I use. You'll notice that I have a spare slot. And this is because I put special nodes in this slot. So if we go to the end, I use Rune EXP and I use Fatal Strike. But you can see that mine are expired, so I can't put them in. Special nodes last 7 days from when you craft them. And they used to just expire and disappear, but now you can keep them and disassemble them whenever you want. So I'm going to disassemble all these nodes that I've opened because I don't need any of these. They don't do anything for me because all my nodes are maxed. And I'm going to extract them. You'll see I get 710 node shards for all of these nodes, which then appear in my slot. And with that, I'm going to craft 2 special nodes. And I'm going to search for Fatal Strike, which is this one, which I use for bossing. And then we are also going to search for Rune EXP, which is what I use for grinding. So we'll craft both of those, and you'll see they now appear. I'm going to lock them so I don't accidentally disassemble them. And then I'll equip Fatal Strike because I'm going to do some bossing later, just so it's there. But yeah, that's how the V-Matrix works. Once you level everything up, you'll be able to see in your skill tab your level 30 for your V skills, and your level 60 for your boost nodes. Super important. Once you get more levels, you will get obviously more slots and more node enhancements and slot enhancements, and this makes leveling up the system itself a lot easier. But again, this will cap at 260 in New Age, as opposed to like 300 or whatever it is currently. But yeah, super easy. That's kind of my explanation on the system itself. To start with, it can be, as I said, a bit complicated. I do remember myself being very confused about this. But once you sort of interact with it enough, once you get used to it, it's super, super easy to sort of like push your power even further. So yeah. Yeah, so with that out of the way, I'm going to turn that back on, sorry. I just want to say thanks to my channel members and subscribers. Thank you very much, Dimas. Thank you, Cheese Dog. Thank you very much, Misty. Thank you, Zookeeper Michi. Thank you, Grappler Jenkins. Thank you, Woolia Reboot. And thank you to Particle. I think that's how you say it. Particle. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining the channel members. This video is just sort of I've said it so many times, but it's just like a little basic guide on how the fifth system works, and because it's going to be super important for 6th job. But yeah, I want to say thanks to you for watching the video as well. You know, give it a thumbs up, Pod Crazy. And yeah, thank you very much. Next video is probably going to be on the like the Yeti mini haste event week thing, which is this coming Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, day, night, whatever it is for you, man. Pog, thank you very much.